Hello, dear Gwit. My name is Majella McAllister from the Museum of Childhood Ireland project. And I want to thank Flavio Melandri so much for inviting me to give a little talk about our museum for MetaMuseo. So at the very start of lockdown, the very first lockdown we had during the COVID-19 pandemic, I started a project for our museum called Project 2020 Together Lekela. And this was a worldwide voice of the child during the pandemic project. I began to be alarmed somewhat that we weren't listening, we weren't hearing the voices of children during the pandemic, we were only hearing adult voices. So that was from the very beginning when we started hearing the stories coming out of China to when we started to hear the Italian stories, and then as COVID-19 moved over through England and Ireland, I thought it was about time that we started hearing children's voices. So it was a very local project to begin with, just one we started here. I sent out a notification about the project on St. Patrick's Day, March the 17th in 2020. And actually the response was quite amazing. It was like all the children of the world had been silent, and it was suddenly their chance to let everybody know how they were feeling and what they were feeling. We had entries from all over the world, from Nepal and from the United States and from the UK and from Italy and Ireland, quite a few from Mauritius. It was really very beautiful to see the kind of response that we were actually having. So what we set out to do was to hear children's voices, and they responded hugely to that. So we launched it as an online exhibition on the 4th of May. We were very lucky that Myra Zeff, the children's author, actually did the honours for us and helped us to launch it. So since then, what has happened with the project? Well, a lot, to be honest. We've had the first physical exhibition of the project in Chicago, in the Art Center in Chicago, and that has been very successful. So successful that they've actually kept it for longer than they were expecting to begin with. And the beauty of this project is that it isn't just the project and the exhibition that we have already done. It is that the project can evolve from what has already happened. So everywhere the exhibition has been, we find that people are adding to the exhibition. So they're doing their own version of the exhibition. And I think this is just such a beautiful thing to actually happen from it. The idea that something begins and then it becomes something, it evolves, and it is added to everywhere it has actually been. So I suppose that idea of a small community reaching out to the bigger community that we are all part of in the world is really beautiful. Other sort of innovations, I suppose, that have happened with the project is that I thought, especially with the pandemic continuing, I really like the idea of having outdoor exhibitions. So we have a couple of important outdoor exhibitions happening. There's a very beautiful house and gardens and park in Ireland in Killarney. It's well worth going to visit. It's really spectacular. And we are so lucky to have been invited to have an outdoor installation of the project in the fantastic setting of Killarney National Park. So how do we do that? So we, a local printers very kindly printed the children's artwork, not every single piece. We decided we would just take a small selection of them. They're all brilliant, but it was kind of, we randomly picked 20 or so images, and they have been printed onto corrie board, which is suitable for outdoors. We have a lot of rain here at the moment. It's our, oh well, Ireland is always a rainy season, but it's our particularly rainy season in winter time. So they have to be, the images have to be suitable for to withstand being out of doors. And the images are going to be attached to some of the beautiful trees that are around the park. So people can actually use the outdoors, use nature and use the trees as a gallery for it to see children's reactions, children's voices during the pandemic. And I think that's a really beautiful way to bring it forward. In Nepal, which it's going to into the Udaya Museum I think in January or February. We haven't exactly decided on a date yet. It's also going to be outside, but there it's just going to be printed on a local printer. I think they're going to laminate the images just with an in-house laminator, and they'll take a selection of the images at a time, and also place those outdoors. So I love that idea too. I love the idea that this exhibition is completely accessible. It can be printed on art paper and museum quality paper. It can also be printed on home computers. Some schools are doing it. They're just printing it on the school computer, and they are putting the images up as mini exhibitions in hallways and in the dining room of schools. So I like that idea as well. The whole aim of this project is just to hear children's voices, and also to let children know that we are listening to them, that we do hear them, that we do see them, that they matter, that their opinions matter. So I love that it's been shared. It's just really, for us, it's just wonderful. So lots of innovations going on at the Museum of Childhood Ireland, and thank you very much to MetaMuseum and to Flavio Melandri for this lovely invitation to let you know what we're up to. So we'll say goodbye for now. Slán from all of us here at the Museum of Childhood Ireland. Thank you. Bye-bye.